What about the pirate who walked into a bar with the steering wheel on his crotch? Bartender said, "What's that for?" The pirate said, "I don't know, but it's driving me nuts." And that is how we start the Bite Me podcast. Episode, 27?
27.
My name is Adam West.
I'm Cliff.
And I'm Dylan, the pirate.
I'm laughing too hard to be anyone.
This is ridiculous. That's comedy. I don't know about that.
It's good enough.
So we are talking about a lot of ish this week.
Oh, yes.
Destiny being the big thing.
Big-ish.
Destiny, big-ish. Big-ish. Destiny 2 is kind of more than big-ish.
Yeah, right?
It's massive. Overwatch, they've been around for a year.
It's crazy.
And I've still yet to play it.
This may be your week.
Maybe.
Come on.
I know.
You're driving me nuts.
I see what you did there. Mario Kart 8, they patched out some inappropriate gesture, I hear.
Whoops.
Oh, well, it's a thing. ARMS.
Yeah.
I have 2 of them.
Yeah, well, and when the game
You could
comes
have
out,
3.
You could have, well,
Or
I don't
4?
think that's how, 4.
I
An
don't know.
extension thereof.
I'm not sure how it works.
I
We'll talk about that.
They'll get like a 4-armed character as like later in the game, and they'll just win. I'm sure.
Maybe one of the downloadable characters eventually could be like Doc Ock.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be super cool.
Or what's the Mortal Kombat guy?
Yeah, that's exactly. That's
who
who
I'm
I thought in
thinking.
my head, but I
Goro?
couldn't. Yeah,
Goro or Machamp.
Why do I remember this?
See, but the other thing is, I'm
four-armed
thinking.
Pokemon.
Did I put that in the show notes? No, I'm actually thinking that Inspector Gadget should be one of them. He already has arms that do this.
That would be all right.
Yeah.
And also a game I've never played in the series, and Far Cry. I've never played a single Far Cry game.
I've played 10 minutes of Far Cry 3.
Okay. Well, but there is a new teaser out for Far Cry 5, and it was a really interesting
Really weird.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know more about the ringing bell thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're going to talk about all that stuff this week on the Bite Me podcast. But first,
and more.
And more, yeah. But first, we will talk about what we have been playing. So somebody go.
Why don't you do it, Dylan? Your list's short.
Yeah, I didn't play a whole lot this week, but I spent some more time playing WWE 2K17, and I can safely say that I'm just not very enthused about it.
Oh.
That sucks because you're like the wrestling
Because
guy.
it needs like I mentioned this last week, but the lack of a story mode outside of create a character, like, so there's not a whole lot of incentive for me to keep playing this game, and that makes me really sad.
Oh.
And I kind of tried to just get right through the character creation and just make a lame character and just start playing, and I just immediately got frustrated with this.
And why is it frustrating? We talked about it a little bit, but I've forgotten everything because when
you
you
don't
start
wanna
talking about wrestling games, I
I
forget.
don't want to spend all this time creating a character.
Like, literally, like, character creation or ramping a character up through
Character
amateur rate.
creation. Like, I would...
Like physically making
Yeah.
the character you play.
Yeah,
How long could
and-
that possibly take?
Well, you have to...
Well, yeah.
You don't want to, like... play
Are
as
you one of
some-
those weird people who, like, oh man, the first 2 hours of every RPG I play is like, I
Yeah,
need to.
That's dumb.
I'm confused
that's
now,
not
Adam. Are you
playing a- I
confused?
wanna play the
No, I
game.
get it. Like, so let me see if I can succinctly wrap this up about why you're sad about this wrestling game. You want to wrestle as your favorite wrestlers.
Yep.
You want to get in there and you want to campaign with your favorite wrestlers. You don't want to create some no-name nobody's ever heard of and spend hours
Exactly.
trying to get it to be something that might be fun.
Okay, so
you just want to have fun.
And okay, that makes more sense because I thought he was literally talking about like the 5 minutes it would take him to make a wrestling character.
Well,
But
it,
it wouldn't
doesn't take.
yeah,
It doesn't take me 5 minutes to make a character. Like in Skyrim, I think you can make a
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
I spent more on that than I have actually playing it.
See, and I'm just like I know that tons of
For
people
somebody
are,
you never see.
Yeah, right, exactly. I know a lot of people are that way, but it takes me maybe 5 minutes, maybe.
No, but this also has probably the deepest character creator in any game.
It does not matter.
Yeah.
But and I would also,
the number of sliders that you can move through is incredible. So it's like it's completely overwhelming to do, and you can go on to like this download area and see what other people have made. So you can go download wrestlers that aren't actually in the game, and you could play as one of those. But I don't really want to do that either.
So it has really less to do with you not wanting to create a character, and more you just don't want to play with a character you created.
Yeah, it's
You
like
just want to jump in and play with John Cena and call it good.
Exactly, not exactly John Cena, but and I understand why they don't do that because the story is someone rising through the ranks.
Yeah.
I understand, but just no. Let me be
John
old school
Cena.
Ric Flair or something,
Right?
and woo my way to the top, even though I'm already
Snap
the
into a
superstar.
Slim Jim all the way through it.
So
Yeah.
I admit I have not cared about wrestling since I was about 12, so 28 years ago. But the new Iron Sheik pop, Funko Pop, I want it so bad.
Yeah, I know there's a couple of those I've seen, and I'm like, man, those look real good. But there's a slippery slope that I'm very selective in the pops that I acquire.
Oh, look, my dad's calling, and I'm ignoring him.
Sorry, Dad.
He will remember this moment when he
Forever.
listens to this.
He doesn't listen.
Right.
He sucks. Anyway.
Wow.
I know, right?
Rude.
He plays video games. He doesn't listen to his own kids' podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, to wrap this up, I say hopefully 2K18, which I'm sure will be starting to
Coming out soon?
will be probably announced or more than announced pretty soon. So hopefully
that could easily be an E3.
Yeah.
Why can't they just say, "Oh, wow, we realize the error of our ways," and just like open up that campaign to
Anything.
Anything.
Because you can even do something like this is very silly. You can go into a real character and you can make like an alternate version of them and like adjust their costume essentially and play with that character, I think.
So why don't you do that?
Because that's dumb. I shouldn't have to do that.
But if you can, if it's the only thing standing in your way, why don't you just take 30 seconds to change the color of their tights?
See, that's so stupid, though. Just let me play as the dang character.
I think he's making
It's
this harder.
principle, Adam.
It is principle.
I'm
It's
just
like,
going to go
I don't
play
like Breath
a
of the
different.
Wild
I'm just
'cause
going to
my
play.
stick broke.
I'm going to go
We'll
play.
get another stick.
That fully makes sense.
Yeah, that's a different argument.
That's
I'm just going to play Overwatch. That's what I'm going to do.
That'll work.
Oh, that's good.
Like
You should do
the
that.
wrestling is good. I want
Overwatch
nothing
is
to
better.
do with playing it. Like I'll go play one match and I'll stop and I'll go play something else. Like that's as much as I play the game because there's not an accessible story mode that I can.
All
play
right, I
through.
know other people play 2K17. Tell us, is Dylan stupid or not?
Dylan
This is actually
not
an
stupid.
ongoing thing. But speaking of, The Cabin in the Woods is a freaking fantastic movie.
That thing is still coming
Yeah.
back, aren't you?
Anyway, so's Deadpool. What'd you play this week, Adam?
Well, I really have a problem, and that problem is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm taking steps to admitting that I now have a problem with this game.
Hi, Adam.
I could literally spend the rest of this year playing nothing but that
I
game.
don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Well, there is when you're
What if
on a
you run out of
podcast
sticks?
about I don't think you're going to run out of sticks. After Blood Moons, things reset. Did you know that?
No.
look at
I don't
that.
even know what a blood moon is.
Okay, well, you've obviously not played enough
I have
Zelda.
not.
So anyway, in order to try and take myself out of the rabbit hole that is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I was like, I'm going to play Division.
Oh, yeah.
And so I loaded that up last night and quickly died a lot.
Right.
Because I forgot how to play it. But within about 10, 15 minutes, I was kind of back on track
The
blowing
game's
things up.
hard. Like,
It's not hard. It's just,
it's hard.
I mean, I made it to level 30.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's like impossibly hard, but I mean that game's challenging. Like, I mean,
Challenging,
you
I'll
will
go
die a
with that.
lot. Like,
But I didn't realize that. I figured once I saw a level 30 like character that I had to go up against, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna die. No, I was able to hold my own. Eventually,
Yeah.
I figured it out what I need to do and how the cover system and everything worked again, and I was blowing up cleaners and all that stuff without thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was fine. I want to play it more. Because I evidently, since I'm part of the Ubisoft club, you get all kinds of like perks and stuff and in-game rewards that you can spend your points on.
Oh, very cool.
Didn't know that. So I went through last night and I'm like, I've got all these cool outfits and these bags and all these things that I can buy with these points that I didn't ever pay
Very
for.
nice.
So about a lot of cool stuff, and I'm going to play more of that.
Yeah, it's a game that I've very much enjoyed.
It's good.
It's good. It's deep. I've got a couple complaints about it, but I mean, what
It's
game?
by no means anywhere close to a perfect game.
Yeah, not perfect,
Not
but
even close.
but it's very enjoyable. It's very enjoyable, and it's real pretty to look at too.
Yes, it is.
I like it.
It is a lot of fun.
Nice.
Other than that, more Hot Shots Golf, some more Persona 4. You know, here and there when
The
I
reg.
Yeah, the reg.
Nothing wrong with that.
The typical ish. So, what about you, Mister? I play everything all
Yes,
the time.
I have played everything all the time. See, that was going to say, it doesn't matter if all you want to play is Breath of the Wild, because I played 5 games this week, and that doesn't include Destiny or The Division, which I also played.
And Rocket League.
I've not played Rocket League
my
for
God.
like 3 or 4 weeks.
See, that's so crazy. For
Right?
like 5 months straight, that's all you played.
It's for like 14 months straight. It's all I played. But the reality is it's just it's because my brother and I stopped playing Rocket League and started playing The Division and Destiny. So we just we filled that time up with other games. So like I don't think it's that I won't go back to Rocket League. I'm sure I will at some point. We're just I don't want to say we took Rocket League as far as we could, because obviously we could still get better, but I think we were both kind of at a point where the grind was going to be really, really grindy. It was going to be like practice and not having fun. So, you know, and we're having such a good time now with Destiny and The Division that there almost just doesn't seem to be like a real reason to break out Rocket League, but I'm sure we will.
I think I need to reinstall. I might do that right now. Just send Destiny back to my PS4 while we're recording so I can get back in the game.
Destiny's so good.
I know.
I like, of the two, I prefer Destiny.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And
it's a different game.
And I just can't objectively say why, but God, it just feels so good. Like that game feels so good. You feel powerful. All the weapons feel amazing. The bad guys feel hard, but not too hard. I love that it's a little more run and gun than The Division is. It's just fun. So with Destiny 2 coming out, and I mean, right now you can get Destiny like for like $5-7. Like, give it a try. I bet I got Destiny and The Taken King for $5 used, but I mean, you know, it's definitely worth it, and none of that's going to really carry over to Destiny 2. We'll talk about that, right? But it's a really fun game if you want to try kind of a fun first person space shooter game. In addition to those, though, I played Mages of Mystralia, which is a game that, I guess, kind of full disclosure, the devs who made Mages of Mystralia, I won tickets actually through them to get into PAX West last year. Cool. Like, that's how they got on my radar. But ever since then, I've been following their game. I actually kickstarted it, so this is, I think, actually the first game I've kickstarted that actually like did something and released. And it's real fun. It's kind of I put a video up of it a couple days ago, and I've got a second one going up today. But it's a kind of Zelda-esque game where you play as this girl who finds out she's a mage but lives in a village where that is not a cool thing. She accidentally burns down a house and they exile her. And luckily she gets picked up by this guy who is also a mage that's going to help train her, and then you're kind of off on your adventure wandering through different lands and trying to complete these quests. The cool mechanic of the game that makes it different than other things is there's actually like a spell like mixing system, and I haven't actually got far enough into it to actually do it yet, but I've seen a bunch of videos where you can actually take different spells and combine them together and combine them with different effects, and to make these huge spells, you know, it makes it so instead of like, hey, this game has 10 spells, it's like this game literally has thousands of potential spells.
Oh wow. Yeah,
so it's really cool, and the animation's gorgeous. It's just this kind of cutesy fun game. I've really enjoyed my time with it. Maybe an hour into it, and I think it's like a 6-hour game, I want to say, from what I've heard. So okay. Very cool. Definitely enjoying that. I played Oxenfree last night, which I played the first half hour like months ago, and just kind of got back into it last night. It's summertime in Seattle now, which means that
it's hot.
You can't live in a room that doesn't have a fan going in it because it's really hot. So like, I need a game to play that I'm not going to record. Like, I'm not going to be like doing a face cam and doing commentary on, just because I can't have a fan going and be doing commentary at the same time.
Do you not have air conditioning in your house?
No, it's horrible. Only like 20% of houses in the entire Seattle area do.
I do.
You're a lucky person, and it's horrible not having it. My house was 85 degrees the other day inside. It's often at my house hotter inside than it is outside. It's terrible. But anyway, so I'm going to play Oxenfree because it's almost all conversation, so I'm not going to be talking over that. And that game went from being like, oh, this kind of fun story about some kids that went to, do like a sleepover on this kind of island thing to like, oh my God, this game is so scary. Why is this game so scary?
Is it that scary?
It's like not even like jump scary, but it's like super atmospheric scary. Okay. I was telling Dylan I was playing it last night, had headphones on, and then I think someone like must have like pulled into the driveway driveway next to my house, and I had my windows open because, of course, it's 1,000 degrees inside. Or like moved a garbage can or something. So it's just like this kind of hunk noise all of a sudden, and it like I jumped. Like it's really atmospheric. It's really good, and the conversation in it is so good. It's probably like the most natural, like linguistic conversation I've ever had in a game, where you get choices, but you don't have to make any of them. Conversation will continue around you if you don't, but if you do choose something, you can actually interrupt what other people are saying. It's really good, and it's just
is it all text on the screen, or is it
no? It's all
voice
voiced.
acted?
Yeah, it's actually voiced, and the voice acting is great. The music is absolutely insanely good. Like, my only real complaint about it so far is there's a lot of walking, not like in a negative way, but like, for instance, last night I had to climb like this big like kind of radio tower kind of thing, and it's literally like, okay, hike up these steps and then move over and hike up these steps and then move over and hike up this ladder and then move over, and then you get to the top and do something and you're like, okay, now I've got to go down this tower. Like, lots of walking. But besides that, the game's great. If you are into those kind of, I'm not going to say walking simulator, I mean, in those kind of games, though, that are just very story. There's no action in this game. There's no fighting in this game. It's just like all story. It's terrific. You'd like it. And it's, like I said, it's spooky. Like I finished playing last night and I'm like, can I leave all the lights on? No, I should turn off these lights, but it's good. I also played Cooking Witch, which is a game that the developers actually reached out and asked if we'd want to review this game, which has never happened before. It was kind of magical. Yeah. Ooh. And it's a very like, right. It's a Steam game. And it's like $2 and it's 100% worth $2 in that, like, if you don't care if you spend $2 to play a game for like an hour. Oh, yeah. I played it for a half hour this morning, and it's silly. You play a witch that you can control. The only control is the mouse, and you just like use the mouse to guide where you want the witch to go, and then click to pick up kids, because you're a witch who cooks kids.
Oh,
and,
as witches do.
As witches do. And so literally the entire premise of the game is you fly around and you're at like a carnival, it looks like, or like a circus, pick up kids off the ground and drop them in this giant boiling pot, and meat flies out of it, and you collect the meat. They look like little drumsticks, and then you get like extra life from the little dead kids, and you get like extra time. The entire thing's timed, so you have a minute or 2 minutes or whatever to complete this iteration of the level, and then literally you just do it again. So there's not extra levels as far as I can tell. You can level up like your broomstick. You can level up like these like literal like fish hooks that you use to catch these kids. You can level up your cooking pot to give you more meat. And like the only impediment to you being there is there's guys with shotguns trying to shoot you out of the sky. But like you can drop fat kids on the guys with shotguns and knock them unconscious. You can drop kids from like if the kids keep running away, you can pick up kids and drop them and they die. And then you can pick up their bodies and cook them. It's ridiculous. I think it's on sale right now too for $1.60. It's stupid fun. It feels so much like it should be just like an iPad game, but it's really fun for $2.
And what does the witch look like?
She's real pixely. It's just she's a
like green face witch. Like
she's definitely a witch. You know, like a scary evil witch. So
yeah, she doesn't look very nice.
No, she's eating children. Like,
this kind of hits close to home. My mom does a near perfect impersonation of the Wicked Witch of the West. It has played the witch multiple times in haunted houses.
That would be exactly it. But it's crazy. You know, so it's kind of like almost like Alto's Adventure, where, you know, now you're trying to catch just 10 kids wearing red shirts or 10 kids wearing green shirts, or knocking 3 guys with shotguns unconscious. And once you knock them unconscious, you can cook them too. It's like there's no depth to this game.
They look like those big elephant things.
It's so fun though, in just like a stupid kind of way. I actually recorded a video of it, but it didn't work, so I'll probably record another one and post it so you can check it out.
If you haven't seen the trailer, it's
goofy. Like, I mean, like I don't know if I ever would have run across that on my own. The devs also made a game called Plantaria, which I have heard of before. It's kind of a almost an Animal Crossing-esque kind of game where you plant a garden and that kind of thing. So check it out. It's called Cooking Witch. It's definitely interesting. I also did the Jack Pack collection. Are you guys familiar with You Don't Know Jack?
Yeah, I remember that
trivia game. I've seen it, but that's it.
Yeah, I had it on the PS3, and it's just kind of like, You Don't Know Jack is just kind of a reverent game show that used to be able to play, and, you know, it's real sarcastic and real mean.
Like, it started out, I want to say it started out as like
PS2?
One of those. It started out as like a DVD game that you played.
Oh, that's a very real possibility.
Yeah, I remember seeing those. It was like, Yeah, it started as like a DVD party game, like, the Disney Trivial Pursuit games or whatever with the videos.
Very real possibility.
That's how it started.
Yeah. But I used to play it all the time. Me and my wife used to play it. And so they've started releasing these things called the Jack Pack Collection. And they all have You Don't Know Jack as a base, but then they'll have like 3 or 4 other party games in them as well. And so I bought one the other day because they went on a really good sale. I got the collection 1 and 2. And like the really cool part of this is not that they're these fun party games. That's really neat. But the cool thing is as a controller, you can use your cell phones. So you start up the game, and I actually played it on my Steam Link too, so I could put it on my TV, which was cool. So we could all sit on the couch and play it. You start the game, and it's like, okay, go to this web address and enter this code, and then your cell phone actually becomes the controller. So when you're playing You Don't Know Jack, you can actually like hit in the answers on your cell phone, and not everyone doesn't have to have a controller. Cool. So, which is great if you don't have I don't have 4 PC. Well, I guess I have 4 Xbox controllers but still. But then I played like a Pictionary kind of game too, and you actually use the phone to draw in your answers. And so I've got another 8 games that I haven't played yet, but the ones I've played have been super fun. And the games, I want to say I got it half off. I think it was $12 for 1 and 2. I think they're normally like 25 or 30, but they go on sale all the time too. So if you're looking for kind of a fun party game, those are really, really a good time. And You Don't Know Jack is just classic. It's super fun. Finally, I'm almost out of games that I've played. I finished up Full Throttle Remastered, which I started, I'm going to say about a month ago. And this is the kind of graphicized remastered version of the 1995 adventure game. And I'll be honest, like I got like 65% of the way through it and literally almost just said like I'm done.
Because the puzzles are just
are stupid frustrating, and like literally I had the hint guide and still couldn't figure out how to get past it. And then I finally I need to power through this game and kind of figured out, got another hint guide and they gave me a better hint, and and I finally made it through. But like for the last 30% of the game, I literally just went step by step through the guide because I was just bored with puzzles that were not just so opaque. They were so just, I don't know how anyone ever would have figured these things out.
Well, somebody had to.
Yeah, I guess, and I think a lot of it is just the difference. And that's in my review, I said like it's a game worth buying if you have a big thing for old adventure games, or if you can get it on sale, because it's a Double Fine game. Like their games go on sale constantly, so you're going to be able to pick this game up for cheap eventually. But it looks great. The new graphics are terrific. It sounds great. They remastered all the voices. They remastered all the audio. But it still plays like a game from the 90s. And especially after playing Thimbleweed Park like 3 weeks ago, it cannot hold up to a new game with that same style, but that plays like a game made now instead of in the 90s.
The 90s are gone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that game's 22 years old. Like, that's a long
It
time
came out
ago.
When?
1995.
Yeah, that was the year I graduated high school.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was a senior in high school. But, I mean, the reality is, I mean, Dylan was 2. But I mean, the reality is when that game was out, it was huge. I worked at Software Etc. at that time, and I sold so many copies of that game. That game sold 1 million copies in 1995, 1996. Which, I mean, back then, 1 million copies.
So were people smarter in the 90s? Is that what we're saying?
I think people were just used to a different kind of game. They were used to something, I mean, it wasn't like you had 1 million games you had access to either. People probably owned... I mean, that's like Sam & Max Hit the Road, which is the game that came out right before it from LucasArts. Like, the game was not any easier. It was just you were willing to beat your head against it for hours because you owned 5 games. I mean, like, now I get like 17 games free every month. So, I just don't have the patience for it any longer. So.
I hear you.
Anywho.
Well, there's that. And if you want the review to that, it's up on our website.
It is up on our website. I'll be doing a video review of it as well. Ooh.
Just for somebody, you didn't like the game all that much. You really are spending a lot of time reviewing the crap out of it.
They were nice enough to give me a copy. I feel like I owe them something.
They gave
me a copy of it.
Oh.
The fine folks at Double Fine.
They're Double Fine folks.
Double Fine folks.
Oh my God.
And Double Fine's an amazing company. Like, I love everything they do.
Gotcha.
So, Anyway.
Shall we move on to the news portion of our show?
We've talked so many times about having some sort of bumper that would fill that space.
I keep saying that, and then I end up getting busy, and I'm like, I really need to do that.
We've got Dylan. Yeah. What else do we need?
News.
So we have very exciting news.
Yeah, so...
It's so big.
It is. It's very exciting.
Massive news. You won't believe what you're about to hear.
It is crazy. So we talk to people all the time on Facebook and on Twitter, and which is awesome. Like, it's a huge part of my day. I love when people pop in and say like, "Oh, hey, I like this," or "I didn't like this," or "I've got an opinion on this." It's fantastic talking to all the people we get to talk to.
We love opinions.
Yeah, it's terrific.
In this marketplace of ideas.
Ooh. He's trying to get a promotion with talk like that.
Yeah, right.
Something in the middle management.
No budget.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Marketplace for ideas.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like a First Amendment thing. That's the idea. It's a marketplace of ideas. Everyone brings their ideas, and we figure out which ones are the best.
Can you mute his mic? I think that's the best way to do this.
No, I like hearing about this thing.
But anyway, the downside of that is people get onto our Facebook Messenger and they have no idea who they're talking to. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes it's Adam.
I spent time talking to Vinny today.
Yeah, and Vinny
like,
probably thought
he's all, hey, I don't get to talk to you very much. How you doing?
You probably thought thought it was me for the first 10 minutes. Anyway, to try and get around that, and just to get. So you guys can actually talk to each other too. Like it's we talk to a lot of people by themselves, but you have no ability to talk to each other. And the people we talk to are cool folk.
The moral of the story is
we started a Discord server.
Yes.
So if you've never used Discord before, it's actually a really cool just game. Like voice chat thing too. A lot of people use it to play multiplayer games on the PC, but it's free to download. You can grab it on the PC. It's on the iPhone. You have it on your Android. Yeah. So you could actually chat with us anywhere too.
There's a Windows 10 app.
Yeah.
You can do it there. You can do it on their actual website. You can do that. So that's how when I was playing Final Fantasy 14.
That's how you talk with people.
Yeah, we would all log into Discord.
Yeah, and I've used it to play Terraria.
It was cool because our friend Peter, he plays on the PS4, and I think Victor plays. I don't. Anyway, we all play
either
on
way. You could
things.
all get on the same thing and all talk at the same time. It's nice, but we're just playing with the chat side of it. So there's a nice chat server you can get in and talk with us. We've had some really good conversations with Kevin and a couple other people. My brother's on there. Adam and Dylan are both on there too, and you'll actually know who you're talking to, which is kind of fun.
Yes.
So go to our website. Over on the right-hand side, there's kind of a sidebar kind of thing. Up at the top of it, there is a link to our Discord channel. It's on Facebook and Twitter as well. So find us there. It'll be fun. We can chat.
Yes. All right. Biggest story of the week, obviously. Last week they unveiled the gameplay. What was it, like the first 9 minutes or so of Destiny 2.
Yes.
Which looks incredible.
Holy hell, right?
It does. It looks, someone who hasn't played it looks more interesting than the first one. I think it's because of colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, for somebody who has played the first one, a lot of it, honestly, it looks like more of the same for sure.
Yeah.
But that's not really a bad thing. I mean, newer environments, new stuff like that, new maps, obviously, all that fun stuff.
Some of the environments, though, were so, outside pretty. Just lush. I mean, not to say, and I mean, I'm a level 23 in Destiny, so I've not seen everything there is to see in any way. But a lot of the stuff I've seen so far has been very desolate, like, oh, we're on the moon again. And the moon is kind of a dumpy, crappy place full of, brown and gray and buildings.
What's the name of that?
And Venus, we just got to Venus, I want to say, and it's really pretty. But some of the environments we saw in the new one are just stunning. I mean, and granted, it's a game that came out. They've had 2 or 3 years to develop this thing. It looks absolutely incredible. So, there's nothing I can say bad about how it looks. And I'm very excited too that it's the way they described it was cinematic. Like the game's going to be big and have a lot more story. One of the things that the way a lot of the story kind of was done through in Destiny was through the Grimoire cards, which are strange because you have to log into a website or log into an app to read that, and that's how they presented story, which is weird.
Oh, see, I never got into.
I didn't either, which is and so I literally the other day I'm like, why do I keep getting these Grimoire cards? What are they? And I looked it up, and they're like, that's how you know what's going on in Destiny. I'm like, oh well, that's weird because I'm playing a video game.
Exactly
Maybe they
what
could,
I don't want.
Yeah, maybe they could just tell me in the video game, and that's what they're going to do in this one. The Grimoire cards are going away, and it's all going to be story based in this, which is great.
Very cool. Did you ever? I'm sorry. Well, I was trying to think of my favorite area in the original Destiny. Taken King was the Dreadnought. Have you been to the Dreadnought?
No, not yet.
The Dreadnought is cool. It's this giant, massive ship.
That's cool.
It's huge and it's amazing. Anyway,
yeah,
I was trying to remember that.
It's super fun. But so a lot of new. I mean, that was like a 45-minute presentation about Destiny.
Yeah.
I missed the first 15 minutes and figured, oh man, I'm going to miss everything. And there was still a lot of presentation left. So, he said big focus on story and cinematics, and they said they made more cinematics for this than they've ever made for anything else before, which is great because the cinematics in Destiny are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
You're going to be able to have clans now, which is going to be cool.
So the clan is like a
You don't play. You've never played World of Warcraft?
No, but that's what I'm thinking of.
A group of organized people that clan together to do things.
In WoW, they're called
clans.
In WoW, they're called clans?
Uh-huh.
I thought they were called something else.
I think so. I don't know. It's been a long time since I played WoW. But yeah, that general idea where it's just, it's you and your buddies getting together and, lets you fight. Guild. There you go. My bad. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Adam wins. But yeah, guilds, clans, whatever.
Gotcha. But that's it. So that's what that's their take on the whole guild.
Yeah. Thing. So we're gonna be able to do that. I think it'd be fun. We'll start a Byte Me one. It'll be cool.
That will be very
cool.
The
downside being is we'll talk about the downside later. But clans will be great. And they're also introducing this new thing called guided games, where there's not really matchmaking in Destiny, really. Like you can kind of like go into a game and sometimes there'll be randos there that you can kind of like hook up with, but there's no like, hey, I'm looking for a group to go take on this big boss to go, do this.
You kind of have to get the group together yourself.
Yeah. And the reason they did that is and I get why they have made that decision is like, random queues can be an awful place to have to find friends, to be frank. So I get why they did it. But what guided games are going to be is if a guild has formed or a clan has formed that, has 5 people but need a 6th, they'll be able to actually go out and find someone. But you'll actually get to almost kind of like, it's almost like
an interview?
Yeah, it kind of looks like an interview where you'll be able to like see who they are and what skills they have and what kind of player they are and what gear they've done and what they've done in the past, and like ask these people to be in this group, just for a one-off. So it almost sounds kind of like almost a recruiting process for guilds too, to find people that they would like to be in their guild too. Because guilds often, or clans, now you've screwed me all up.
Guilds, clans, same,
whatever, same thing.
What we're talking about.
Can often be huge. I was in a WoW clan that had dozens of members, so it's they can be real big, and so I think it's a really fun idea too, and we'll open up the game to people that really have only been able to kind of solo things before, and soloing stuff in Destiny is not easy in any way. So let's see, what else is there going to be? There's no more going into orbit after every mission. So especially,
and I'm trying to remember what that was like. So
like you'll be in a mission and then you go to your orbit, and then if you want to go like back down to the same planet, you literally you have to go back down to the same place. So like every mission ends and they take you up and you're flying in your ship through the air.
Yeah,
and then you have to choose where you're going to go next. This will actually enable you to, if you're already on the moon and you want to go somewhere else on the moon, to just fly there without having to do like the dual load process of loading, going into orbit, and then loading, going back down to the moon.
Gotcha.
So I don't, it's not a huge savings, but I think it'll definitely kind of streamline some of that stuff a little, especially when you're playing multiplayer. It's nice to not have to drag everyone up into orbit. Like, okay, guys, now we're going to go find out where we're going next, because you only have one fire team leader. So, there's just one person kind of making those decisions for you. Beta is coming. If you pre-purchase the game, you can get in the beta.
I did.
I have not yet. I'm going to wait. I kind of made. So I guess the other thing to talk about is that the game is coming out on the Xbox.
September? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, coming out on the Xbox and the PS4 and eventually PC, which is actually the first time it did not come out on PC last time. And interesting enough, it's actually going to be part of Battle.net, which is where World of Warcraft and Diablo and all that stuff run. Mm-hmm. So Bungie, obviously an independent developer, but they're being published by Activision. Activision also owns Blizzard, who owns Battle.net. So it's kind of weird. But so originally when this came out, like you've heard us bickering back and forth. Like I'm like, Adam, you should really get an Xbox. You could play it on the Xbox. And he's really, set in his PS4 ways, which is wrong, but that's okay. But when this game came out, and the reason I was thinking that I wanted to get on the Xbox is I'm going to get a Scorpio and I want to get this in the best way that I can. But they kind of announced semi-formally that the game's not going to really run any different no matter where you play it. It's going to be...
Unless you're on a super high-end PC.
Yeah. High-end PC, 4K, 60 frames a second. But that game's not coming out until probably next year for you guys. So it'll be real fun when it comes. But if you have it on an Xbox... let's see, an Xbox One or an Xbox One S or an Xbox Scorpio... It's all going to be 1080, 30 frames a second. And same thing with the PlayStation version. You may get 4K on the Scorpio and the PS4. They haven't really said, but that's not like a huge deal, really. It's going to look a little bit prettier, but none of them are going to be 60 frame a second, 4K.
Which is fine with me.
Yeah, and Bungie's kind of said, like... we wouldn't be, our environments are so complicated. It's not a matter of graphics. It's more a matter of like physics and how things interact with the world. It's, when they brought out the PS4 Pro and the Xbox Scorpio, like a lot of the power they give it is graphics power, not computing power. And we need a lot of computing power to compute how random events are happening and that kind of stuff. So we don't have enough left over to push it to 60 frames a second. Maybe that's true, and maybe that's...
I mean, it makes sense.
It does. It may also be that, Sony gives us a lot of money, and we can't have this game looking better on a Scorpio than it does on a PlayStation. So, I don't think we'll ever know the real answer to that. But the reality is it's not going to matter. And the reason to buy it on the PS4 these days is they're going to have a lot of exclusives, exclusive gear, exclusive content, exclusive expansions that are not going to come out on the Xbox until at least 2018. And I mean, some of them are still exclusive to the Xbox. I mean, like there's stuff, to the PlayStation. There's stuff in Destiny now that you can't get on the Xbox, I believe. Wow. So, I mean, some of these exclusives suck. And so if you really want to play this and you really want to play with your friends, PlayStation's the way to do it. And so that's kind of what I was going to, is like, I play this with my kid, and so I'm literally have to buy another PlayStation so that we can play this game together. It's
Get on the Facebook Marketplace. You can find them super cheap.
Well, and that's actually what I'm hoping. And that's the reason I haven't pre-purchased it yet, is I'm hoping that they're going to do a bundle so I can just buy a new PlayStation and get Destiny and hopefully get at least a little bit of a deal on it.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
maybe.
Yeah. So that's, it sucks that the PlayStation really is the way to play this, especially if, like, I don't have any problem with the PlayStation as a device. I just don't like the controllers, frankly. So
it's so weird.
Yeah, I like my stagger stick. So
can't you find aren't there like third-party controllers?
No,
or
there
something
really
for Sony
aren't.
That
yeah, like the closest
style?
You can do is they actually make this doohickey that you can plug a Xbox controller into a PlayStation, but it like takes up like one of the IDs of your PlayStation controllers, and you always have to be hardwired. So yeah, I've trust me when I say I've looked into it. And I mean, the reality too is it's not that I like the Xbox style as much as I just really like Xbox controllers, like the way they feel. I like all that kind of stuff. So anyway, is there anything else we've missed? Release date September 8th.
Yeah.
Beta this summer. They've not released a straight date for that. Hopefully E3. E3's in less than a month too.
Yeah, so hopefully maybe they'll open up the beta like right around then.
God, wouldn't that be awesome? Here's some stuff. Cool. Beta's open.
Wow, that would be really cool.
But I mean, the reality too is like, I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to think about, but if you pre-purchase this beta right now from Amazon, you'll get access to the beta, but you don't pay anything until the game actually comes out. So I mean, like, I'm not going to advocate you being a terrible person, but if you want to play the beta and then cancel the game before it comes out, hey,
you can do it.
Yeah, and you'll save 20% on it when it actually does come out. Did you buy the $80 version?
The $90 version, or the 90. I think it was $99 on PlayStation.
Did you get
Store.
You didn't buy it from Amazon?
Mm-mm. I bought it on the PlayStation Store because I went home one night.
Because Adam doesn't like saving money.
Well, obviously. I went home one night and I loaded up my PlayStation and flipped the store open and I'm all, oh, look at that. Okay.
Destiny's out.
I need it.
Yay.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Well,
does it, did you, because I think
But I get the.
You get like a statue or something? Special bag?
I don't know.
Because I think there's a back rub. There's obviously just the $60 vanilla version, and I think there's like an $80, I want to say, or maybe it's $90 version that comes with both the expansions, because there's going to be a...
Oh, yeah, so I know mine comes with... I'll just pull the store up right now, and I'll tell you what I get. Let's see here.
He'll tell you what he got, what he really got.
Somewhere in here.
God, we need faster internet here. We can't do these things on the fly.
Yeah. Anyway... Oh, there. Oh, it was there. I just went past it. Stupid.
All right, Adam's going to figure this out, and I'm going to bitch about something for a little bit.
Because I'm going to bitch along with you.
Yeah. So the thing that frustrates me the very, very most about this is not that I have to pick between Xbox and PlayStation. It's that decision literally cuts off who I can and can't play with. Mm-hmm. There is literally no reason that Xbox people and PlayStation people could not be playing this game together, except for like the stupid politics that make up Xbox versus PlayStation. It's PlayStation spending a bunch of money to get exclusive on this game, and that means that Xbox can't, and so they're not going to share that with Xbox. It's this dumb fake battle to you know, I mean, I guess it's not a fake battle. It's like the basis of capitalism, you know. But it hurts, you know, they make money and it hurts gamers that want to play with their friends. It means that if you have, I mean, right now, Adam and I could be playing Destiny together.
We could,
but we can't because I have it on the Xbox and he has it on the PlayStation. And that's ridiculous in a game that is 100% based on you being able to play with other people. Like, when you need the biggest player base you can in order to play with people, because these games are something you play with people, it's ridiculous that I have to only play with my friends that have the right system.
Right.
It drives me nuts. And, like, I get why you can't play with a PC. That makes sense.
But here's the thing. Like, Square Enix did it right with Final Fantasy XIV. It doesn't matter if you play it on Xbox, PS4, or a PC. You can all play together.
Yeah.
And I don't know the technical side of any of that, but all I know is they've got it set up to where you can do that.
They did it right.
And it's nobody's hurting.
Yeah. And I wonder if part of this, too, is as opposed to most PC games that have dedicated servers, this game, the current Destiny doesn't, and this game also will not have dedicated servers. Yeah, even on the
PC version, it won't have dedicated servers.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. That means that your Xbox or your PlayStation is part of what's making that run, and it leads to a far poorer experience generally. But, I mean, I've got to assume that's part of the reason it just can't work either, because, you know, getting an Xbox and a PlayStation to log into a remote server somewhere and play a game is hard because of the politics. Probably getting them to run a server themselves and talk to each other is probably almost an impossibility. But
yeah, well, they're hearing our podcast now. They've got 4 months to figure it out.
Guys, come on.
In 4 months, you better get that all set up.
It's really obnoxious, and it's so dumb to me that. And I mean, there's more people than that. I mean, Kevin, who's a guy we talk to all the time that listens to the show, same boat. He's on. We were talking about playing The Division this weekend, and he's on an Xbox, and we both have it on the PlayStation. It's just stupid in a game that is meant to be played with your friends that they artificially box off other people.
Yep, it's a thing.
I don't like it. So you found out.
Yeah, so I bought Destiny 2, the Digital Deluxe Edition for $99.99.
Dang.
Plus tax. PlayStation. So I received a PlayStation 4 dynamic system theme after checking out, which I totally forgot because that's my theme.
What?
A dynamic theme.
Okay.
It's really cool. It's like got the Guardian and wavy stuff. Premium digital content, legendary sword, legendary player emote, and the Cabal Empire themed emblem. I'm also getting a copy of Destiny 2, obviously. Premium digital content and the expansion pass to continue your Guardian's legend.
Yeah,
$100.
So interestingly enough,
and early access for beta.
Nice. There are actually 3 versions of this too. There's just the vanilla edition that's $60. Or unless you buy it on Amazon, where it's $59.28 right now, if you buy a physical copy. And then there is the digital the digital deluxe version, which is what Adam got. But then there's also the Destiny 2 game plus expansion pass bundle, which is $90. And quite frankly, I cannot for the life of me tell what the difference between those are. But they have 2 very different covers. So
one is vanilla with the season pass,
and then without all that other digital crap.
Yeah, I got all the bonus
little
crap.
Hoodly doodly,
pretty skins and crap. I think I'll pay the $90.
I kind of hate this.
Yeah, right.
Especially now that games are so digital. Like, stop giving me digital collector's editions.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be cool if I got, like, a cool, like, metal box or something.
Right.
No, it seems
I was looking
weird.
at the Final Fantasy XIV, the expansion coming out, Stormblood or whatever, that's coming out on, like, June.
So you said there's, like, a $200 version of it or something?
Yeah. So I was looking at what to get Kevin for his birthday, and I was like, okay, do I want to spend the $39 on just the basic expansion, the $60 on the expansion plus where you get a bunch of in-game extra crap, or the $200 thing where you get the limited edition art and the metal box and the statue and all this in-game extra crap, but it was like $200. And I'm for an expansion?
Yeah.
No. If it was like
the game, Final Fantasy 16, 15. 15?
Whatever. If it was whatever, other than just an expansion, then I'd have considered it.
A $200 expansion is nutsy.
Yeah. But it's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I care about cool. Anyway.
I do like, though, that they are already outlining, like, here's what the expansions are going to be. There's one, I think, fall and one spring. You know, I think they've already kind of announced some of the details around those. And for a game that was kind of maybe a little content poor at the launch of Destiny 2, it's nice to know that they have a really good content plan lined out, because I mean, that's this kind of games as a service model. That's what they're built around, is having ongoing content that's going to keep pulling you back and keep pulling you back. And keep
I
pulling
think
you
it's
back.
really smart if they tell you kind of when the next stuff hits too, because it shows that it's not just a
like a money grab.
Or a facade.
On a similar note, speaking of games that keep making new content over and over and over again and don't make you pay for it.
Right, and this is what you guys could talk about, because I know nothing about Overwatch.
So Overwatch Anniversary event. So it's crazy.
Happy birthday
to Overwatch. Yeah.
We're not a singing podcast.
No, we are not.
To Overwatch.
It doesn't stop him from singing.
Happy birthday, dear.
Oh, God, he's still going. Anyway.
Happy birthday to Overwatch.
Are you done?
Yeah, that was a song.
Oh, it was nice.
Song.
It was
only
lovely.
4 lines.
Yeah. I figured you'd want to do some sort of reprise, maybe.
Do you want?
No.
DJ Khaled. Okay.
You stole my line. That was the next one.
Anyway, so there is a brand new Overwatch anniversary event running now. Is it today the 23rd?
Now.
Oh, starting now. Starting today or
2 days
yesterday or 2 days from now? I don't know. It starts on the 23rd. That's what matters.
May 23rd.
Which is also today
2017.
for us. It's not for you.
Well, it goes through almost my birthday, June 12th.
Yeah, it goes through June 12th. When's your birthday?
June 13th.
Oh, that's so exciting. So from today through Adam's birthday.
Expect cake and cards.
I just have to decide if I want to buy him a $200 expansion for Final Fantasy XIV now. So game came out today. It has 3 spanking new maps and over 100 commemorative loot box items. The only thing that I think is kind of dumb is apparently, at least as far as I can tell, those 3 maps only exist for like the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand why they keep doing these, making all these awesome things that I want to play, presumably, and then making them go away. It makes me very sad.
Yeah. I guess it's a way to test new things.
I guess, but like, couldn't they also just give us new things? Like, I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
But the new maps look good. There's a new video out that kind of just shows all the stuff for it. I mean, literally, you could just go play now. But if you were, say, Adam, and you do not own Overwatch, for the next, I'm going to say 13 days, now through June 5th. Like, let's say you wanted an early birthday present because your birthday was in the middle of June. But,
and you deserve it.
And you deserve it, damn it, because you're a good person.
Well, that's debatable.
You're an okay person.
There we go.
You can buy the Game of the Year edition of Overwatch, which includes all of the Overwatch that you would normally get, plus 10 loot boxes, the Origin skins, whatever those are, and a bunch of Overwatch in-game stuff for Diablo and StarCraft 2 and Hearthstone, World of Warcraft, and Heroes of the Storm. And it's normally $60, and it's only $40, which is what I paid for just vanilla Overwatch. So you could get a good deal. And then if you have vanilla Overwatch like I do, or Dylan, you could pay $10 and get all those loot boxes.
Add-ons.
Yeah, and loot boxes
are normally $2.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good deal. So, that's through June 5th, and then the prices will go back up to $60 and $20 after that. So if you've never hopped into Overwatch, which, I mean, I think their player base is like 30 million people now, so there's like 4 of you out there who have never played it.
Adam
is one of those
3 others.
Yeah, Adam and 3 other people who've never played Overwatch. Now is a pretty dang good time to jump into it. And I mean, these guys have so much content. It's absolutely ridiculous how much content they're pouring into this game. But I mean, it's just Blizzard's model. Like they've been doing the same thing with Hearthstone. They're doing the same thing with Diablo. They've been doing it all forever. So it's good.
Now, do you think by doing like these small events and not leaving them around, does that, force players to play like in the quick play and competitive modes, so they are never like starving for players? Like, at some point you have so many modes, like you just want a lot of players to be able to keep matchmaking games. Do you think that affects that at all?
It probably does, but and the only thing I can relate that to is Rocket League, where you have the weird hockey mode and you have that new beat breakdown. I don't remember what it's called, where you break the floor mode, which is awesome, by the way. I don't think those pull away from actual numbers.
No,
and I said, they have 30 million, monthly players. Those are active players, I believe. So it's not like they're hurting for people to matchmake with, I don't think.
I was wondering, if you you want people to get in a match within a minute.
Yeah, I wonder if it's more a resource thing. Like the more things you have, the more you have to support them.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not to say that they haven't like. They keep doing these events, and then most of them go away. So, like, we can't play Uprising anymore, which makes me sadder than anything in this world because I loved Uprising. But, like, some of them stuck around. Like, you can still do the snowball fight, right?
I'm not sure about that. I know the capture the flag, though, I think.
Yeah, capture the flag's around, and you can still do the 2v2 and 3v3 ones as well, and those were all events. So, like, some of them they keep around, and even Uprising, they let open, like, it was supposed to shut down one day, and they gave you an extra couple days with it because I think they screwed something up. But, so, I mean, these dates are kind of arbitrary. They can probably turn this stuff on and off whenever they want, but, you know, it's probably server resources, and it's probably stuff that we just don't understand, but it still makes me real sad because...
But other than Uprising, honestly, and if Uprising had more maps, I would say, with an asterisk, like, I'm not upset that any of these disappear.
I'm upset about Lucio Ball because I never got to play it, and it really looks fun.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it would have been cool for the anniversary. It would have been cool if they'd turned all of those back on for 3 weeks.
Go have a party for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So is it similar to like Destiny, where it's going to be console or platform specific?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and where do you play?
I play on the Xbox. So, sorry, man.
The thing is, this is a game I'll buy on everything to be able to play with anyone, whoever's playing at that moment. So.
I also own it on the PC. But really, like, I don't play it enough for anyone to buy it on any console that I have it. So, play it. Get a PlayStation copy and you can play with Dylan.
Was considering PlayStation, or is considering, you know, the PC version?
The PC. Yeah. Then you can play with me.
You can't play with me.
Then you can't play with Dylan. Dylan plays it more than I do, too.
Okay, it's stuff to think about.
We'll figure it out. It's a really fun game. It like doesn't fit into my life very well. I guess maybe more the reality is I'd rather play The Division or Destiny any day over Overwatch. So anyway,
okay.
What inappropriate gesture would you like to give to Dylan? That's a good one.
Hey.
That is not the inappropriate gesture that they removed from Mario Kart 8, though.
What was it? Because I have not played it enough or seen it to understand.
It was not that one either. No. So
it's that.
I thought it was a reverse peace sign.
No.
Really?
Yeah. Inkling Girl does this and now she just does this.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like the English shove it.
Yeah.
Oh, and I had heard that like a peace sign in the United States is like fingers forward, whereas if you do it like with your knuckles out, it's something different. And I'd heard
there might be multiple though. That's the one I saw. I mean, it's very possible.
So either way, Inkling Girl had some inappropriate gestures that were not inappropriate, apparently, in Japan, probably where the game was made. It is just a full...
Yeah.
So I don't know how we describe this. Like, pretend you're flipping
like
someone
flexing,
off.
but she's incorporating her left arm.
There you go. Yeah.
And in the UK, that's how you tell someone to shove it.
Ah, interesting.
Is my understanding.
And is that really like a... That's dumb.
Probably for a game
but
that's
this
aimed
is Mario
at kids.
Kart.
Yeah.
So... all it takes is one parent to be like, right?
You're right.
Interesting.
Like, it's silly, but...
I get it. But so they patched it out?
Yep, so that is gone now.
And what does she do now?
She just kind of... Yeah, she's just like,
yeah.
I guess.
Where are the patch notes? Inkling Girl's animation has been adjusted.
That's the patch note?
That's the patch note.
Okay.
So, interesting. You know, it's just kind of one of those things that it's interesting to think about just because games are such a global thing nowadays that you don't, I mean, yeah, I think we intrinsically know that there are things that we do in the United States that people in other countries find offensive and vice versa. And
like breathe.
Breathe. It's not our fault. We're sorry. But that, you know, you don't think about all the strange, I mean, literally the other day I was listening to this really wacky YouTube movie where they were showing, like, saying the same word in, like, 5 different languages. And one of them was English, and there was, like, 4 different, like, Asian languages. Like, one was Korean, and one was Chinese, and one was Japanese, and one was something else. But that how many of the words they only said, like, 5 or 6 words, but how many of those words in one language was essentially a curse word in another language? You know, you just don't think about how those things work out. And, you know, localization's hard, and it's expensive, and doing it right is tough, and beta testing in a bunch of different languages is really hard. So, you know, I think as games become more of a global thing, you're going to see this more and more and more.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, this is, in this instance, it's a very easy solution, right?
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, is this something they should have to worry about? Because should we be aware that if this game is made here, we can respect that and not say if someone holds up their arm in a certain way, they have to go fix their game?
You know that. I mean, like, yeah, you probably should be able to say that. But I mean, if flipping someone off was something that would be fine in another country, you know that every single person in the United States would have just exploded over that. So,
right.
I mean, yeah, you could say that, yes, it should be that way, but that's not how real life works.
Yeah, but I mean, in some instances, like putting your thumb up or down is much different in other countries, or the peace sign being rotated 180 degrees. It's like things like that I feel should not matter.
Yeah, but I mean, and I guess the thing is when you're Nintendo, those things probably matter more than when you're not Nintendo. Like, Rockstar can probably get away with that because they do things that are significantly worse than that.
Yeah.
Brutal, bloody murder is also pretty much a bad thing in every culture, but somehow they manage to get away with it. So, I think it just depends on who you are. And when your game, I mean, I got to think Mario Kart's probably rated E. And I mean, it may even, they do they ratings in the UK? Mm-hmm. It very well may have.
What does PEGI even mean?
I'm sure it's their board. It's probably like it's probably ESRB or the RAAA, one of those kind of acronyms. But it may have actually affected their PEGI rating too. So you don't want to have to pull a bunch of carts. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, more Nintendo.
Sure.
So did you guys watch the ARMS Direct?
Yes, I did not watch that one.
I want to like ARMS. I really do.
Evidently, it's getting a lot more...
It's got a lot of buzz.
Yeah, especially after whatever this was.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely hate the way they're marketing this game. Like, every time they start into an ARMS video and it's like, hey, I'm an announcer and I'm going to just explain everything in this video to you for the next half hour, it makes me want to stab someone, like, hard, repeatedly. I don't like it. What do you think, Dylan?
Get a little stabby over there?
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about this briefly, but I'm very excited for the potential. Mm-hmm. Things can fall much, much, much short of the potential, but on paper, ARMS could be a dream for those of us who want to play fighting games on a more casual level.
Yeah.
Because I cannot win at Street Fighter if I play anyone who's played Street Fighter. Right? That's something that will never happen. But this game looks like something that could be pick up and play for casual gamers who want to be able to play a fighting game that actually has a little bit of depth in the sense that you have these different characters with different arms and different hands that do different things.
Yeah.
So if your fist is bigger than my fist, when our fists hit each other, your fist wins.
Yeah.
So there's simple rock, paper, scissors mechanics to that, as well as like freezing and shock types.
And dodging.
And so... But it's not like the up, down, down, square, triangle like type combos that just, to me, are...
You have to wait 5 frames before you do your
Which that just
counter.
Honestly sucks the fun out of fighting games because that's not how fighting works at all. I don't think it's not. I don't have to take 2 steps back and then crouch to uppercut. Like, that's just not how fighting works.
I mean, last time I was in a bar fight, that's what I did.
So
my Chun-Li kick was on point.
I'm like the E-Honda.
But... This can obviously not work, and my one last hang-up would be, does this fall kind of where For Honor does? And it's like, this is really cool until you play it for an hour, and then you realize that's it.
And I assume there's a single player? Like, it didn't even occur to me until you said that. There's a single player, right?
I don't know.
I gotta think there is.
I mean, it's a Nintendo game, so I'd imagine
there is. Yeah. I just wonder about the depth of a game that is going to launch with 8 fighters.
Yeah.
Like, there's just not that many. And Dylan and I were talking about this a couple of days ago, that like there was a time when you could launch Mike Tyson's Punch-Out that has 6 guys you fight, and that is going to be like the greatest seller of that year because you didn't have any, like we're saying, you don't have any other games to play,
right?
And you can make Mike Tyson really, really, really hard because people will just keep beating Glass Joe until they get back up to Mike Tyson. Actually, my brother played this 2 weeks ago, where I would not be able to remember anything about Punch-Out, but. I don't know if nowadays you can launch a game that has 6 guys in it when Overwatch has 20 and expect it to be competitive. It's unfortunately another, and I'm sure it's going to sell really well. Get that out of the way. It's going to sell really well. because they do, for now, have that kind of limit. There are only 8 games on the Switch.
Right.
But it really feels like a game to me that should be selling for $30 and not for $60.
Oh, is it? It's 60.
I think it is.
Well, I mean, if it's a $60 game with that few fighters, do you think the stuff that they're going to add to it are going to be free? Like,
yeah, and that's my understanding.
Patches, DLC,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
there is going to be new. They are going to add new fighters. They're going to add new stuff. But even that makes me feel kind of like oh man, we don't have this game quite done yet. Let's add some new stuff to it later. Yeah. I don't know. It feels very like. I don't know. And like, I'm not going to pass judgment on it until I can actually play it, but we'll see. I guess the good news is if you want to play it, this weekend is your shot. So they are doing what they have called a global test punch. There's that marketing that I hate again. It's not an open beta. It's not a, hey, try out our game. It's an open test punch. This weekend, the 26th through the 29th, and then next weekend, June 2nd through the 4th. The weird thing about this is, as opposed to most games where they're like, hey guys, download this game and play it all weekend, they have it's like almost like appointments where you can play it on May 29th from 5 p.m. until 6 p.m. And then on May 27th at 5 a.m. Pacific time, and then 8 a.m. Pacific time, and then 11 a.m. Pacific time, and 5 p.m. Pacific. Like, there's all, and you can play it for an hour, like 4 times a day. It's really weird, but I posted up the schedule on our website because it's so dumb. So go and check out our website, and you can find out when you can play ARMS, but you can download it right now, so you have it ready to play. So I'm definitely going to try it. I'm very interested.
Absolutely.
So
cool.
Anywho,
new Far Cry 5. How about that?
Was
anybody expecting that right now?
No. Well, I mean, I'm not shocked that there's a new Far Cry coming out, but I'm absolutely shocked at the setting. Like, absolutely shocked at the setting. Would you like to reveal, Adam?
Well, all I know is that in this reveal teaser trailer thing is evidently it takes place in Montana.
Yeah.
In Hope County, I think.
Which is fake.
Yeah. Well, I'm familiar-ish with Montana, and that didn't ring a bell when I saw the trailer.
Is that a pun?
What?
Ring a bell?
Oh. So, yeah, my favorite part of the trailer, which was really weird and really...
The trailer's kind of amazing, though. I really like it.
Yeah. Because I couldn't tell if that was like CGI stuff or if that was real actresses, landscapes.
It is actually real. So
I wasn't sure.
I read or heard a thing this morning that said that like the initial reports of something happening was that a video game crew showed up at some small town in Montana and was filming stuff with drones, and they're like, we don't know what it is, but they're doing something.
Well, there it is. My favorite part of the trailer was when the drone fly by a church, evidently.
Well, it like flies over a guy running through a cornfield too, and you can hear gunshots.
Yeah. But when that drone approached a church and you hear a bell ringing and you're like, there's a dude up there banging a bell. Oh, there's a dude up there banging a dead guy's head against a bell.
And it's crazy.
It was weird.
It's like maybe a 45-second trailer, and it is absolutely worth watching.
Yeah.
It is so...
Oh, yeah, it's going by right now on my screen. It's so funny.
Yeah, and this game came out, like the original reveal for this was about a week ago, and they released Far Cry 5, and that was all they released, and it had like a red, white, and blue like border around the Far Cry 5. And like people are like, it's in the United States. I'm like, that seems like kind of a stretch, but apparently we were wrong. What do you guys think about a game like Far Cry set in Montana?
I've never played a Far Cry game, so I couldn't even tell you.
You've played Assassin's Creed, right? Yeah, same general idea. That kind of like, we go somewhere and then we climb a tower and then we find a bunch of other points from this tower and then we go to those points and then we find another tower and you climb.
Is this the only kind of game Ubisoft knows how to make?
Yeah, effectively. Okay. And The Division.
It's kind of evolved into that. It was much, much different
originally. Yeah. Well, the original one... Oh, no, that's a different...
The first Far Cry wasn't
even made by Ubisoft, was it?
Yeah. It always has been.
Oh, maybe it was Assassin's Creed.
It was a pretty linear shooter.
Yeah. And so then
it kind of branched into the open world idea in the sense that you knew where you had to go, but you could kind of approach it from a few different angles. Yeah. If you wanted to go in guns blazing, if you wanted to kind of be quieter about it. And it's morphed into this completely open world, kind of go as you please.
Yeah. But I mean, I've played maybe 10 or 15 minutes of 3, and it's great. But the first 15 minutes, whatever. But I mean, 3 and 4 are widely regarded as being very, very good games. So I mean, I think it's something people are looking forward to. I think the good news is Far Cry hasn't kind of worn itself out yet, kind of like Assassin's Creed has. They're not releasing a game every single
not quite as
year.
Frequent.
Yeah,
and they're a little less repetitive, I think.
Yeah, and they've been doing a good job of spacing these out like 2 or 3 years. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think I'm actually really looking forward to the setting. It'll be interesting to see how they pull it off. But I mean, you don't play many games. Like if you're going to play a game and it's set in the United States, like it's going to be either set in New York or LA.
Yeah. And it's a crime.
Yeah, and it's a crime game.
Yeah.
So
it's an Infamous or it's a GTA.
Or it might be like
or Watch Dogs.
Like a kind of like a post-apocalyptic kind of rebellious
you just don't see games.
Well, you don't see stuff. You don't see games taking place out in the country.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what's happening in Montana.
Right? I mean, I think that there's a huge amount of potential. Have you lived in Montana?
I lived in Wyoming.
Close enough.
I lived literally 20 miles from the Montana border.
It's Montana's little brother.
Stuff happens in Montana.
Yeah.
Our coworker is from Montana. Go talk to her.
Okay.
She will
it's
tell
big
you
sky
all about
country.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
Really good beer too.
Interesting.
Really
and for a while, there was no speed limits. That's what I know about Montana.
Yeah, the speed limit was drive reasonably and prudently, quote unquote. That was the speed limit in Montana.
Yeah.
And then
the speed limits are real high.
But I think it could be very interesting to set a game in like a super small, super close knit. I mean, like it could be a weird, creepy small town. It could be just like a town where people don't know what's going on. It could be something with some strange corruption in a small town. Like there are so many ways that this could be really, really interesting.
What if they made it like a open world game meets Twin Peaks?
Right?
Oh,
like there are
into that.
There are so many cool options with this that. I don't know anything about it, and nobody knows anything about it besides this weird video. But I think there's a lot of potential here. I don't think that it even has a release date yet, but my guess is we'll learn more at
the
E3.
release date, according to this, everything that I've seen so far is fiscal year
2018. Yeah, 2017.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, so that runs through like September of next year. I think.
Right, and
I'm making
March 31st
updates.
of next year.
I'm making updates.
Stop it.
Okay.
It runs through March of next year.
There you go.
Jeez.
Which would make sense then. Like this is in that kind of pretty spring release window, that February, March, where Horizon came out and Breath of the Wild came out, like that good after Christmas kind of space. So you don't compete with October, November games. Kind of come over the hump. That'd be great.
Cool.
Although that's also now when
South Park.
No, South Park's coming out in like 2 days.
October.
Oh, right, October 17th. But that's when Red Dead Redemption is coming out. It got pushed to
March.
Spring of next year. So I don't know if I'd be wanting to like bring my game out with Red Dead Redemption, but who knows? Maybe it'll get pushed back again.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
What are we doing now?
Questions. Questions? Why don't we try that again?
Oh, you just almost died.
Anyway, I'm out of drink, too.
Oh, what are we doing now?
Questions.
Hey, Vinny.
From
What's
Vinny.
your question?
Vinny hit like 11th hour today.
Seriously. I was just in here wrapping up some other work, and our messenger went off, and I'm like, oh, it's Vinny. What's up, Vinny? And he asked us a question.
Yeah.
His Vinny sense was tingling.
I like to let's pretend from now on that Vinny is a superhero. I like that idea.
I'm good with that.
Anyway, his question is...
Vinny's question is, what is your favorite online game to play with someone? Favorite co-op game? Favorite multiplayer game? What makes it so fun to you?
That went from a very good question to like some sort of public service announcement.
Right.
That's Adam's commercial voice.
There you go. I don't know. What's your favorite player? What do y'all think?
I mean, I think the thing is right now it's Destiny. It's The Division. I'm loving both of those.
Surprisingly, not what we were thinking you were going to say.
And I saw what you thought I was going to say. And Rocket League was that game for 12 months. But probably the game that I have like the fondest memories of actually is Star Wars Galaxies, which was a MMO from the early 2000s. That was so fun to play. I was in a group with a fantastic community. I was in a guild or a clan. I don't remember what that game had. I had my own house. It was. I mean, there was 2 people in my clan that got married in the clan. I don't know if they were married in real life, but I went to a wedding in that game. I had to buy fancy clothes to go.
Wow.
It was a cool.
Like they got married in the game.
Yeah. I think it was our clan leader and like his girlfriend, maybe. I don't know. It's been 20 years, 15 years, so I don't really remember. But like we went to a wedding ceremony. My brother played the game with me. We went not together,
right?
But we went there together
in the game.
And went to a wedding in game.
Okay.
Yeah. So but they were cool people, and we'd farm for resources. We'd go on raids together. Star Wars had a really cool economy where you actually had people in the game that could make things there were crafters. And so like if you were a hunter, you'd go out and get skins and you'd hunt banthas and crap and bring their skins back and give them to the hunters, and they'd make things and they'd give you stuff, and that's how your clan made money, and you had this cool economy, and there was an auction house kind of concept. And
so you have to like adult in the video game,
kind of, but it was really fun. It was adulting in Star Wars, so trust me when I say adulting in Star Wars is way more fun than
adulting in
adulting in this life. So granted, we are getting paid to do this right now.
Star Wars?
I do love Star Wars.
Oh. Star Wars is good stuff. So that was probably like my ultimate favorite. Oddly enough, I really enjoyed my brother and I played Army of Two together as well, co-op.
That's so much fun.
It's like the most bro-y, awful game in the entire world. But there is also something really cool about ripping a car door off and using that as a improv shield. So
and then the back-to-back.
Mm-hmm, yeah, you could do this weird like back-to-back thing where you could fight. And
that's cool.
It was.
The game is completely based on playing with a buddy.
Yeah.
It is Army of Two.
Yeah, I don't know.
2 people
maybe you could play that single player, but it doesn't seem like it'd be very good.
It's just so meant to be played co-op.
Yeah, that was fun. I also really liked Borderlands co-op. My brother and I played that too. So anyway, how about you, Dylan?
I'm trying to think of what I have the fondest memories of. And
Guitar Hero.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to play with people. But
you play that online?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think so.
I guess it's not necessarily online. Just play with.
That's a good point.
Gotcha.
I miss the couch co-op days.
Oh, you and me both.
It is not the same.
That's why you need a PC, because it's totally a thing on PC. Which is so weird because PCs are so not something people have in front of their couch.
But it's just not the same when you're on. It's so convenient, and that is nice. I love the convenience of you guys can both come home at the same time. You clock out at 5 o'clock, you go home, and you could jump on the Xbox. That's awesome. But
in case you're wondering, our office is totally like that. We actually have punch cards that we leave at 5 o'clock. Yeah. It's just like the Flintstones. A bell goes off, a whistle goes off.
You slide down a Brontosaurus and into your
it's not
pedaling car.
Especially because I leave at 4:45 every day.
Yeah.
Got to beat traffic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I agree,
anecdote.
Though.
Yeah. The game I'm thinking of, though, would be... Man, I got lost in Flintstones. Fond memories of Flintstones and Flintstones vitamins.
As an aside, the other day, Dylan and I went to this conference in Seattle, and we sat in this... how to make music for video games, which was really, really interesting, although not really something that we do professionally. So it was kind of we're a little out of our element. But the guy giving the presentation is, first of all, the composer for all the Halo games and Destiny. Wow. But he's also the guy that wrote the Flintstones vitamins jingle. 10 million strong and growing. Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's his claim to fame.
Yeah, so it's all coming back around.
And then he went on
and then he went in to do Destiny.
Wow.
He also was fired from Bungie in a horrifying lawsuit extravaganza. But hey, that's something else.
Hey. That's a whole different story.
He didn't bring that up. Your favorite one, because Dylan's dumb. He can think things.
Hey,
bringing it back.
Go ahead, Adam. You can come back to me.
What? I was just bringing it back to the question at hand.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Bring it back to the question at hand.
Yes.
I enjoyed Gears of War a lot.
Oh,
from
its
a
co-op was so good.
standpoint. Like that game really was like, okay, this is cooperative gameplay.
The funny thing about Gears is I've played like the first 3 hours of Gears like 8 times because I can never remember what's happening. I'm like, dude, we should play a co-op game. Let's play Gears.
3 hours into it, you're like, I just remembered how to.
Now I have to go home. Yeah. Oh, okay. And then 3 months later, I'm like, dude, we should play Gears.
But thinking farther back to like PS2 when couch co-op was more like what you could do. Gauntlet Dark Legacy.
Ooh.
Wow, I remember that one. I remember the Gauntlet games.
Yeah.
It's great. Beat 'em up. I think this game still sells for like $60 or more if you find a copy of it. I'm sure you can get it cheaper occasionally, but like it still has value because it's a kind of a sought after game.
Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
Exactly. I remember playing this a lot when I would go to my buddy's house.
That's
that was
cool.
A lot of fun. And I like I've said this multiple times on our show, but I want more beat 'em ups.
Yeah.
Like sitting next to a buddy and just hack and slashing your way through dungeons is so much fun. Why
I agree.
We have that?
Diablo was a big one for me. I love playing Diablo multiplayer.
Never played it.
Oh, it's so good.
See, there's so many things that I haven't played.
6 is really good. Or 6.
And
Diablo 3 is really good, too.
Of course, Borderlands co-op's great. Smash Bros. is like one of the best sit on a couch with people kind of games. So
yeah, another one I've never played.
But
Smash Bros? Never played Smash Bros? They're fun. I like the original Smash Bros. On, what was that, the N64? Yeah, I like that one. Now, so my favorite, like, couch co-op-y kind of local multiplayer game was a little game that not a lot of people heard of, and I think I've mentioned it a couple of times before. It's called Muppets Party Cruise.
Wait, what?
I'm leaving.
No, I am 200% behind. I've never heard of this game.
It's called Muppets Party Cruise, and it was on the GameCube and the PS2, and I played it on the GameCube with my friend Davey that we used to work together. We would get off work at the bar at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, go back to his apartment.
I remember you talking about this.
Yeah, and we would play the Muppets version of Mario Party. And it is the most ridiculous fun you'll ever have. It was their answer to, which was funny that it was on the same system as a Mario Party game.
Huh.
But it was fun, and it was so weird.
It looks absolutely amazing. I'm so disappointed I've never played this game. Like, I'm a huge Muppets fan, and this is incredible.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play Fusion Frenzy?
No.
Yeah.
Xbox game.
That's fun.
It's stupid. It's like just a ton of little like wacky mini games that like, you know, you and your 4 friends are driving around in tanks and trying to shoot each other, and you and your friends are running around on this giant rotating thing that sometimes explodes and trying to be the last. It's a lot of like kind of last man standing kind of games. Fusion Frenzy and Fusion Frenzy 2 were super fun. So,
But,
God, there's so many good co-op games.
Rayman Raving Rabbids on the Wii.
Oh,
that was fun.
I love
So
that game.
much fun.
I didn't actually own that, but I bought it for friends of mine. That's a gift.
That's great. And then all the old LAN parties with Halo.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of a golden era of,
I played so much like Quake 3 and Team Fortress.
Never went to a LAN party. I never did any of that stuff.
You weren't nerdy enough. You probably actually like...
I was in band.
What did you play?
Trumpet.
Me too.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was in the pit for marching band. I played all the mallets and stuff.
Oh, well. Yeah. All right, then I don't know what you were doing. You should have been playing video games.
I was.
That's
you were
right.
out nerding the nerds.
I was. I pretty much was. Sorry.
Adam came back around. Then he's like, I'm on a video game podcast now.
Yeah, right? Moving up.
Perfect. Should we go to our next question?
Yeah, but before we do that, so I was thinking about it the other day as I'm looking for a new cord for my GameCube to hook into my HD TV, because there's the digital cord for the early versions of the GameCube, which are hella crazy expensive. The cords themselves are like $200.
Holy crap.
Yeah, because so evidently there were 2 versions of the GameCube. One had a digital out. That was the early versions, and that just never happened.
Yeah.
So they stopped making them with that. Anyway, these cables are extremely hard to find. I could have just purchased one of the original production Nintendo Wiis because it was backwards compatible for GameCube.
Yeah.
For the discs and the controllers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I could have done that, gotten the digital upscaling or whatever, and had 2 systems in one.
Do you
Didn't
want
even
one?
think of that.
I've got one. You can have
I should
it.
do that.
I literally have one. I don't even have it hooked up.
I will give you money.
whatever.
Okay.
I think I still have it. I think it's literally in a box somewhere.
Yeah, I have some too.
Done and done.
Yeah, we'll figure it. Yeah,
Perfect.
I would like to play my GameCube, and I can't
Right.
get the right adapter to upscale everything.
Yeah,
It's
there's
really irritating me.
there's no need to get
What's the game that you bought?
Beautiful Joe.
Beautiful Joe. I was thinking.
Such a great game.
beautiful.
Perfect. We'll hook you up.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right.
Anyway, next question.
Next question. Speaking of my brother, it is actually from him. He asks, how do you feel about games as a service? Ubisoft mentioned in their earnings call, which is when they released a bunch of information about Ubisoft crap coming out, that they really want, it's something they really want to focus on, and it lets them actually sell less copies, but still kind of make the same amount of money.
Right. Well, I have no soul, so I don't feel.
I have lots of opinions.
I do too.
You do.
I love this, and I have one huge concern about it.
I think it's probably the same concern I have.
I can't subscribe to many more things.
Well, but I mean, it's usually not, there's usually no cost. It's like Destiny or The Division, where it's a game that comes out and they just support it forever, you know?
Right. Yeah. But a lot of times I think there might end up being a cost associated to that, right?
There would be a cost.
Most of them,
I think there would be a cost as far as like
new
DLC
content
and
sometimes,
new content
yeah.
but I don't think you're ever going to have to.
Yeah, it's not usually a subscription model. It's usually hey, you're paying, either you're paying $20 or $30 for a season pass,
Right,
or
the
you're
subscription
paying.
model, in my understanding, is mainly for things like WoW or Final Fantasy or stuff like that, where they've got these dedicated servers that are doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of games out now that have a subscription model anymore. So this is really more things like Destiny or The Division or Wildlands,
Division, Overwatch.
Overwatch, kind of. But just where you have this kind of ongoing multiplayer, story that kind of goes on forever.
I guess I wouldn't be surprised, though, to see more of that, going back to that way of games, because so much is based online and in a cloud, I guess.
Yeah, just a cloud.
And, I mean, as many times as we buy a game and then a season pass, it's like, unless you spend $100, you're not going to access that content anyway. Yeah. And a $100 game is a lot steeper than...
yeah, but, I mean... I guess the question is, though, so let's say you're buying
it, though, for 2 to 3 years, is it worth it?
You're buying a $60 game and it's over in 20 hours, or potentially, something like The Division or Destiny that you could play for 2 or 3 years, and just be getting a DLC every now and again.
But I guess I won't. Yeah, I won't play a game that long.
And I think that's really the question, is how. And my concern with this, like, I love the idea of it. I love the idea of a game world that evolves, and a game world that you can launch and then make better, especially because a lot of these games are coming out, I don't want to say half-baked, but, they come out with an idea and then like, oh, maybe this idea wasn't as good as it could have been, and it allows them to pivot and make games better at the request of people. I mean, like, I think if Destiny and The Division had launched and were not games as a service, they would both be very, very dead by now. Yeah. But because they were, they've been able to improve them and make them better and release DLC that makes them more interesting and better. My concern is that I can maybe play 2 of these, and so, like, am I going to be? I mean, obviously, Destiny is going to be replaced by Destiny 2, but when Far Cry 5 comes out and it's a games as a service, and like I'd kind of like to play Elder Scrolls Online again. That's a games as a service. Like, how many of these can you really play at once and still enjoy, so I think there's a finite marketplace for them, but maybe I'm wrong too. Maybe if they expand and there's probably a finite number of first and third person shooter games as a service that can exist, but maybe if they kind of expand out into like, hey, let's make some role-playing games like this, let's make some other games in the same model but aren't that same thing, maybe there's a big enough player base to support that.
I mean, I think as long as they don't fill it with a bunch of just filler crap, because it's like...
It's got to be good.
This stuff has to... Like, I see both sides of it. Mm-hmm. I would like to think that they're not going to fill it with a bunch of stuff that's just like, oh, look at all the new stuff you can do. Yeah. And it's run here, grab this, run here, drop this off. Stuff like that. Like, that's okay if you've got, like, these crazy big MMO online things and you've got, hundreds of people playing
pretty much
together.
How WoW makes their money. Yeah.
Right. Like, that's one thing. Like, that's how they do their thing. But our GM just walked by and rolled his eyes. Sorry, we're successful. Sorry about it. Blah, blah, blah. But if they fill it with content that has a purpose and has a clear beginning and end.
Good story.
And it doesn't go over the top with all this stuff, then I think there's a way to find a balance between like, okay, the next couple of days I'm going to play Far Cry, and next weekend I'm going to do this, and the weekend after that I'm going to do that. Yeah. And if it feels like you're actually getting stuff done and not just doing a bunch of go here crap, then I think you'll be able to find a way to balance.
I think it's really important too that I think part of it is what we were saying earlier. They've got to figure a way to make it so these games can play cross-platform because you can't have these games, siloed into, that's just Xbox, that's just PlayStation. Right. That's not going to work as they get more and more of these. And I think to even further my point, like the whole, like when it's like you're playing WoW or whatever, you're doing your dailies, your weeklies, your stuff like that. Don't get rid of that crap, because it's like all you've got are these people that are coming back and doing this thing just so they can grind up their levels and stuff like that. Like, don't have that stuff. Yeah, or have that stuff, but have content too. Like you need end game content needs to be better. Yeah. Or else the game just ends, and then it's not games as a service. I don't understand when I see Kevin get on WoW or Final Fantasy or even like in Destiny, they've got grinding for light or grinding for.
It's like, why are you getting on and playing the same thing, the same missions, the same story over and over and over again, just so you can get some experience? Yeah. Like, I get why you're doing it, but when the developers can take that out and throw in, if they really want to make a game as a service, this longevity kind of thing, throw in some real content for us to play, not just. And there's nothing wrong with having that to kind of keep you there and keep you upgrading and keep you engaged in between content. Because the reality is there's, no matter how much content they created, there's always going to be someone who's done with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think you have to have some of that in-game stuff, but they need to be thinking about and be, I think, pretty transparent with. The game's releasing in April. Our first DLC is going to hit in August. Our second DLC is going to hit in January. Our third DLC is going to hit in July. And kind of here's our pathway between those. Here's what the level caps for each one of those is going to be. That kind of stuff. And that's one thing I'm shocked about Destiny and The Division is how low their level caps are. Well, yeah. So it's like with Destiny, the level cap's what, 40?
I think so.
And then Division is 30. But in Destiny, you've got the light levels. Yeah. You've got the light levels, and in the Division, you've got your dark zone level
stuff,
which is a completely different system.
I just think it's such an interesting idea that they're like, "Hey, levels," and then no, don't worry about that anymore. Yeah. It's real strange. Anyway, I think it's. I love the idea of games as a service if they continue to do them well.
I'm good with it.
Cool.
All right. Okay, so let's wrap things up with cheap free games.
Yes. So, first off, Steam sale. Hold your wallets, folks. There's no release for this yet, but all indications point to it happening roughly in the next month, probably about a month from now.
Okay.
So, start saving your pennies, start digging through your couch and finding all that stuff. But one tip that I got about a year ago with Steam sales that is so great is if you are ever on Steam that game looks fun, I don't want to pay full price for that, add it to your wish list, and then every time that game goes on sale, and this isn't just Steam sales, games go on sale all the time, you get a push notification on your phone, or you get an email saying, hey, a game on your wish list on sale. You can go in and say, oh, hey, that game is on sale, maybe I'll buy it now.
Gotcha.
It's a terrific, I will not use the word life hack because that's dumb, but it's...
I hate that word. I hate it.
It's a really good way to get games on sale and keep track of what games you want and get the best prices for them.
Okay.
But the Steam sales, it was awesome. I usually have 15 or 20 games on there, and the Steam sale in the spring, I want to say, it was great to go in and oh, hey, 15 of those games I want are on sale.
Nice.
Good stuff. Adam's breaking stuff.
Yeah, sorry. So I'll be doing that.
Right.
And hiding all the vodka in my house. Games with gold. Tell us.
Dylan and I would like to, first of all, shout out as Xbox owners. I freaking love that they're announcing Games with Gold now on the 23rd. That's absolutely amazing.
Is that?
It's newish. It used to be 27th, 28th, 29th.
Gotcha.
The 23rd would be a bunch of stupid websites would pop up with here's what we think it's going to be, and we're always wrong.
Yeah. Where did they even get these, and why do they keep trusting the source?
Right? It's real weird. I think they were literally just guessing. It was like what we'd like it to be. Which
there's a new Lego game coming out, so they're gonna give you a free Lego game this month. And it's like, no, they're not.
I think the only one that was maybe predictable was the Star Wars in May. Like they gave away 2 Star Wars games. Yeah. That just makes sense. There's new movies. There's May the 4th, all that crap.
Mm-hmm. They're like, no, that's not gonna work.
Yeah. So this month though, next month, I suppose. The June. First game is going to be Speedrunners. That's June 1 through June 30th, and that game is so dang fun. It's made by Tiny Build. Well, it's published by Tiny Build. And it's literally just a game about speedrunning. Like, they give you a level, and the level has multiple ways through it, and it's so fun cooperative. You can play it against the PC, but that's not nearly as fun. It's more fun to grab 3 or 4 friends, and you just try and find the fastest way through that level, and then as you play, the screen shrinks. So, like, it starts full screen, and then, a minute in, it'll get smaller, and then it'll get smaller, and then get smaller. And so if you screw up, the odds of you getting killed by the shrinking screen gets better and better and better.
Oh, God.
It's so fun. It's really enjoyable. So grab that. I didn't even realize that was on the Xbox. It's really good. And then the June 16th through July 15th, you can pick up Watch Dogs, which I have not played.
I haven't played either, but I'm so excited to get this for free. Because I always wanted to get this game for free.
I paid $15 for it, and it was worth every penny.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I've heard. Is it kind of released to kind of reviews, but for free, it's well worth free.
Put it on the Wii U.
Really?
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was such a good idea with the second screen.
Yeah, but it was like
game.
The graphical
didn't work.
Power on the Wii U was not anything they should have tried to put Watch Dogs on.
It was already a game that was kind of...
It was pushing it on the PS4.
Well, and like... came out with far worse graphics than people expected.
Yeah.
So, anyways, there's a sequel too if you like it. So
I heard the sequel's just as good.
I've heard it is also very good. Yeah, I've heard it's way better actually.
Okay.
And then if you want to do a little bit of Xbox backwards compatibility stuff, so if you already own these games, like, hey, great, you can now play them on your Xbox One. If not, you can get them for free. Assassin's Creed 3, which I have not played because I have not played many of the Assassin's Creed games, but I think people like them. Generally speaking,
I played the first one.
Yeah,
it was cool.
The second one was really good.
Yeah, I've played a couple of them. My kid's playing through Assassin's Creed China right now. The weird platformer one. He's having a great time with it. Whatever.
Cool.
And then Dragon Age Origins, which I have played, and it's okay. It's a BioWare game.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's got kind of this weird combat system where you can. It's real time, but you can pause it at any time and issue new orders,
that's right.
Which is kind of strange. Dragon Age Origins, and I could be 100% wrong with this, seems like a game that would be better on the PC. But maybe not. And who cares? It's free. So give that a go. And then last month, and I'm sure still, they released Phantom Dust Remastered.
Right.
That weird... I thought it was a role-playing game, and apparently it's more like some sort of strange role-playing mixed with Pokemon, mixed with, I don't know, giant arena battles. This game literally I am so confused by, but whatever. People seem to think it's okay. But the DLC will be free the entire month of June as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
It's good stuff. Hopefully by next time we'll have PlayStation games for
that would be nice too.
Are you sad that you're missing all these free games on Xbox?
I am not, because I just realized I haven't redeemed any of my codes except for 2 or 3 on my last 3 months of Humble Bundles. So I have plenty of stuff to play.
You just collect them.
I collect. I'm a collector.
I just passed 600. It's very scary.
Lord.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think that is all.
All right, then.
Yeah. Find us on the social medias.
Yeah, do that.
Facebook, Twitter.
We need to give something away soon, too.
YouTube. We should give something away. I'm sure I've got something we can give away.
Give it away now?
Lots of stuff.
Not
or later?
No.
We will not give away the chili peppers.
Give it away. Give it away now?
Yeah, watch our socials and stuff. We'll have something to give away. We need to give something away.
I love giving things away. He feels good. He's like Santa Claus with a shorter beard.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Ha! That's gross.
Same.
All right.
People are kind of disgusting.
Thank you. We'll see you.
Maybe.